Welcome to this demo where I'm going to show you how Micro Focus data center automation helps IT operation teams accelerate their vulnerability remediation. I'll show you how with data center automation, you can automate correlation of Koalas vulnerability scan results to their servers and patches in just minutes, view vulnerability status in Universal Discovery in CMDB, and automate remediation, which will be validated by Koalas. This is the environment where we'll run the demonstration. We have Data Center Automation, or DCA, Premium SaaS, managing servers, both on-prem and across multi-regions in AWS, and scanning, alongside Koalas, with those scan results correlated into DCA and ultimately propagated into the Central Universal Discovery and CMDB through the CMS gateway. I'm going to start in the Central Universal Discovery and CMDB. With the help of Universal Discovery and its probes deployed in each AWS region and on-premises, the discovered servers have been pulled into the central CMDB, as you can see here. I'm going to click on the AWS EC2 instances and select the CI and right-click for the topology, which will identify the infrastructure service that it's a part of. Clicking the infrastructure service and then Show Related will reveal the business application. Clicking here will show the business service and subsequently the full topology. What we have here is a business service that facilitates worldwide online activities backed by two applications, an online and a backend, plus multiple location-based infrastructure services, each with specialized servers. Having DCA integrated with the Central Universal Discovery and CMDB, the newly discovered servers are constantly synchronized and new resources created in DCA. You can see them here and also categorized based on their locations. Now, let's get the scan results from Koalas. You're probably used to seeing Koalas standard results output like this with line after line of vulnerabilities for each asset. Typically, this would take weeks for an operator to review, identify and implement the corrective actions manually. I'm going to now show you how DCA automates this for you. Koalas perform the scans within each AWS region and on-premises servers through the Koalas virtual scanning appliances. The entire inventory has been discovered, and the current state is available within the vulnerabilities page. Clicking over an asset, we can see its state. DCA requires a scan report to be available in Koalas for the results to be importable. I'll use a report I previously executed for this demo. Back in DCA, I'll now show how quickly you can remediate and perform additional actions using built-in orchestration through autocorrelation of these Koalas results to the servers and patches. Firstly, I have to configure the integration with Koalas by providing the API server URL credentials and report template used to run the report. To import the Koalas results, click the Settings button and select On-Demand Results Import. DCA, providing the bridge between the two products, maps the vulnerabilities Koalas found to the specific servers and patches in under a minute. Next, I'll go to the Resources page where we can see that the vulnerability status has been updated to reflect the scan results. I'm going to look into this server to see all related vulnerabilities. Clicking the All Vulnerabilities button opens the list of all vulnerabilities that affect this server, an identical list with the one observed in Koalas. It's important to note, if showing unknown for patch availability, it's either not yet available or the patch metadata is not recent and you must import the metadata manually. If I wanted to only focus on the most critical vulnerabilities, I can use the advanced filter to sort by severity, CVSS score and other criteria listed here. But for this demo, I want my server to ultimately show up as not vulnerable. Therefore, I'll include all vulnerabilities. Back in the Universal Discovery and CMDB UI, we can also see the server vulnerability details and status. We know from the topology we looked at earlier that being an online services server, it is the most exposed. So I want to understand the impact of an attack. For that, I'm going to run an impact analysis. It shows that should our online service be impacted in the case of inappropriate access, the application, along with the infrastructure services, could also become unavailable. For stakeholders who need this status information in a digestible format, the vulnerability data in DCA's Optic Data Lake can be displayed as shown here in, for example, a custom Power BI dashboard, indicating all new vulnerabilities details. Now that we're fully informed on the vulnerability status and impact, I'll show you how easily and quickly DCA can automate and perform the remediation. You have two options for how to do this depending on your defined role and permissions. As an author without visibility into resources, you would go to the Author section, then the Vulnerabilities page, pick one or multiple vulnerabilities, click Actions and view available patches. From here you can select all patches and add them to a new or existing patch bundle. I'm a resource owner with authoring permissions, so we'll use the second option, the resource pathway. I'm in the resource page and will click into all vulnerabilities, select all vulnerabilities, click Actions, and view available patches. From the New Patches screen, I select all patches, then click on Actions. I have the option to create a new patch bundle or add to existing. I'm going to choose the latter. With the patch bundle created, next steps are to create a scan and remediation policy, subscribe your resource group to it, and scan the server against it. The needed patches will be displayed on the resources dashboard. Since DCA has a built-in orchestrator, you have the flexibility to create policy extensions. I'm going to implement a policy extension that will reboot the server at the end of the remediation to ensure that the new kernel is used. For this, I switch to the Author section, click on Policy Extensions, and then on the plus sign to define it. I provide the name and select an applicable scope. My resource is a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. I'll select the Reboot Flow from a comprehensive list of thousands of out-of-the-box available flows. Next, I complete the inputs required by the flow. In this case, I can use either specific values or attributes like $resource name, whose value will be expanded at execution time, therefore allowing me to come up with generic and reusable extensions. And finally, I save it. Now, I need to make use of it. From the resource group where I've already subscribed my policy, I can do an update and use the already created policy extension as a post-remediate action. To finish the remediation process, I switch to the resource page and click on the Actions menu, Remediate, and select the previously created policy. To check the remediation outcome, I go to the All Vulnerabilities page where we can observe that the status changed to patched. The reporting dashboard will also show the new updated patch status. It will still show as vulnerable in the Universal Discovery and CMDB console until Koalas confirms that we successfully remediated the server, which I'll do now. With the asset scanned in Koalas, I'll switch to the Vulnerabilities view. Select the asset and see the vulnerabilities posture. All appear as fixed. Going back to DCA and re-importing the results indeed confirms that the remediation was correctly performed and the new fixed status appears. Since all vulnerabilities are confirmed by Koalas, the resource's overall status has changed to not vulnerable. This is now reflected in Universal Discovery and CMDB, and also our custom dashboard. And that concludes this demo. You can see just how easy it is to correlate or map DCA and Koalas scan results for fast and simple remediation through automation, taking away the resource-intensive and risk-prone challenges of an otherwise manual task. To learn more about how DCA can accelerate vulnerability remediation for your organisation, visit www.microfocus.com/DCA. Thanks for watching.